You can
But
lie down if you want, or you could sit down, whichever feels better for you. And we're still doing, so this week we've been doing momentum and inner thighs, which is a really interesting combination. But we talked about momentum last week, and how there's a lot of snobbery in the Pilates industry about using momentum to move. So I brought that into the class today so we can have some fun with momentum. And also inner thighs because we tend to do a lot of stuff on glutes, outer thighs, quads, hamstrings, and these get neglected. And actually, what you need is like well-rounded, even muscular strength all the way around. So we're going to do some bits on this as well. So lying down or sitting down and holding the ball against the chest. And if you've got space between your boobs, you could try and get it between your boobs. That's it.
yeah.
And then we're going to breathe into the ball. So I want you to feel the chest and the expansion of the rib cage into that ball. It is a funny day today with you all with your cats on your tummies.
Oh, he's been displaced.
Oh yeah, that's it. So breathing deeply into your ball. And while you're doing it, so I want you to imagine the rib cage expanding around that ball. And imagining the rib cage expanding sideways and not upwards as you're breathing. Seeing if you could lower your shoulders down. And then rolling the ball down towards your abdomen. And as you're breathing, imagining the expansion of your rib cage outwards, plus the expansion of your abdomen moving into the ball. So filling up the lungs, filling up the belly, and then releasing the breath. And then we're moving the ball underneath the armpit. So it's the side of the rib cage. And now we're breathing into the ball, pressing the ball sideways as we breathe in. And as we breathe out. Breathing deeply in. And out. And one more that side. And then we're going to swap sides. Breathing deeply into the ball. Imagine the rib cage pressing into that ball. And release. And then for now, put your ball to one side And take some breaths and feel how hopefully you can feel like you've got a bit more lung capacity now. You've basically stretched those intercostal muscles, but you've also worked the intercostal muscles by pushing into the ball as you're breathing. So have a few breaths, just feeling how more expansive your rib cage is. And then we're going to move into the momentum section of the class, which is where we get to play a little bit. So, as I mentioned, there's a lot of snobbery in the Pilates industry about using momentum. In fact, there's loads of snobbery in the Pilates industry about everything. Um, and momentum in particular is one of the things like, oh, you shouldn't use momentum. And that's because Pilates is a lot about control and precision. Okay, so you can understand how momentum doing this moves right away from doing this. Okay, but from my perspective and from a Mobilate's perspective, Mobilate's really helps, momentum really helps us get some accessibility into some moves, so it enables us to do some of the moves better, or just enables us to do the moves in the first place. So it increases accessibility, it helps us learn new things, but also it's about fun and play. And if we didn't enjoy or have fun in things, then we wouldn't be doing it. So the first one I'm going to teach you is the knickers on, knickers off technique. And this is because, and I said this on Monday, so there's this move in Pilates that I barely ever teach, which is the, oh, can't even do it now, getting the bum over your head like this, in this position, okay? And I don't teach it because it puts your back into quite an extended, well, hyperflexion, and you can imagine why that isn't amazing for some of us. So, and I could never get into it because I've got a big belly, I've got a lot of weight down here, so that activation into that position is really tough. So I was taught the knickers on, knickers off technique. If you want to try it, make sure the space behind you is completely clear, and try not to come up too high. So I'll do a quick demo for if you want to do it, what you could do. So the knickers are down here, and you're using momentum to lift up and lower down. You might want to go to this point and then use momentum to come back up again. So it's like a little bit like rolling like a ball, a little bit of a lift and coming back. If you want to go a touch higher, don't come up too high, and return. You want to look after your necks, okay? If you don't fancy doing that move, you can move into the shoulder bridge instead. So you're still lifting the bum, but you've got your feet firmly flat on the floor, which means it'll help you feel safer. So the shoulder bridge, the gentle peel up, and the gentle peel down, okay? So that was the first move, and we do it sometimes. We do sometimes little things like this, and there you're using momentum to lift. That's it. So if you were using full control and precision, it would look like this. But you can see the point in having a bit of momentum in that, because you're still activating the muscles, but just in a different way. Okay. So did anyone enjoy knickers on, knickers off?
I don't think I can do it. My arse just isn't coming off the floor.
Well, that's kind of the point, because I was the same, Rachel, with it. It was and it was just the idea, it was the imagination of, say you had some really tight pants. Like that. Yeah. Yay! See? Look!
A little bit.
But it's that sitting bit first to get you into
Yeah.
it. That's where the momentum comes in. But I have noticed sometimes people fling their heads back first to get the momentum, but you're better doing this because then you're not going to hurt your neck, especially if you're an EDSer. Yeah. The other one, use momentum for rolling up. So, you know when at the end of a class I say, either gently push yourself into a seated position or rock and roll your way up. That's using momentum too. So quite often I do this to get up, which is interesting if you've got POTS. It's quite big. Which is quite a risky option. But the gentle coming up slowly, like that instead. So give it a go if you want to, the little rocking yourself up into a seated position and then returning. Martha, you did that with such control then. That was brilliant. Let's see, Carol, because I missed it. Yay! And Helen, you were rock and rolling there. That was proper rock and roll. Yeah, amazing. So that's, you can see the point in using momentum. It makes it just a bit easier. The next part about momentum, and this is where I really like momentum, is to release tension. So I love a jiggle, and there's loads of other types of movement or exercise that use jiggling. So somatic movement often uses jiggling, and there's certain types of trauma release that you can do with jiggling, which I'm not trained in doing. But I'm trained in doing this jiggle here, which is the lengthening the legs and then pointing and flexing to jiggle on your mat. That's it. So this kind of jiggle, you find your rhythm, and everybody's got a different rhythm. So yours might be faster or it might be slower. But while you're doing this jiggling, check in with your body, check in with maybe your tummy's moving up and down. You're getting that lovely kind of sensation of a wave of your belly. That's it. Maybe it's coming into your shoulders and you're feeling that you can really release the shoulders as you're doing this jiggle. And keep breathing at the same time. And feel the activation of the thighs and the quads and the ankles and the calf muscles and the warming. So momentum like this jiggling can really get you warm. And then hold your body still, let everything relax. And take a few breaths, and hopefully you might get in touch with a bit of a buzz going around your body. So it should be quite a nice sensation when you relax. And everyone feels it differently. Some people feel like it's a warmth. Some people it actually feels a bit buzzy. And then the final momentum move is measure your toes. So bring your toes together and move your heels apart so that when you do this, your toes just touch, but they don't hurt each other. They don't dislocate each other as you do this one. So this is the other one where you tap your toes together rapidly. This is great for if you're sat on a sofa and you've got really restless legs. This is a very, very good technique for getting rid of it. But you need to kind of get your thighs jiggling here as well as you're doing it. And then when you relax, once again, you might notice that nice buzz going on around your body. So there you go. I promised you I'd do momentum. That is momentum. We can use it. The other point about momentum is you can do it from this version here, you know, the roll up, which is really hard to do. So I definitely use momentum there to get my lift up off the floor if I had my arms crossed over my chest. Oh, no. Yeah. And this is where on Monday I showed you the magic towel technique, where if you had a cushion underneath, you'd be able to press your abdominals down into the cushion to get up without using momentum. Oh, it's really hard. Why is Pilates so tough, huh? Okay, so inner thighs, let's lie down. And we're going to bring one knee into tabletop position. And then we're going to externally rotate that knee. And if you want to, you could push the leg up towards the sky as well. So you're maintaining that external rotation here, but the leg is up or bent. And we're going to create small circles. So very small circles. It's like, imagine that the sun is really shining and you're trying to tan your inner thigh. There you go. Anyone ever done that before? That's it. So very small, controlled, precise circles, completely the opposite to what we just did with momentum. So here we're getting our hips nice and juicy, and that thigh is activating to control the circle. If you haven't already, circle the other way as well. That's it. Remember, you can bend your knee if you prefer. And then we're going to hug that knee in towards our chest and let it rest. And then we're going to swap sides. So sending the other leg up, find the external rotation first, and then send the leg away from you as an option as you circle. Small, controlled, precise circles. Trying to maintain that external rotation. And then going the other way as well. And then when you're ready, hug that knee in towards your chest and take some breaths. Okay, so we're now going to put either our fingers underneath our buttocks or a cushion or a ball. So choose whichever suits you best. And it's definitely buttocks as opposed to back for this move. And you don't have to have anything underneath if you don't want to, if it doesn't feel good in that position. So going to send the knees up. Katie just reminded me, you could use squishmallows too. Cuddly toys are perfectly fine. So bring...
wheat pillow.
Oh, wheat, oh, lush.
Still hot.
Oh, that's not fair. Then bring the heels together and open the knees. So you have once again created that external rotation in the hips, and squeeze the heels together and push upwards and then release back down. So pushing up and release. That's it. So hopefully you can feel the inner thighs activating as you do this. You can, if you want push away from you and release. And you may notice how you can really strengthen your hips with this move. Can you feel how the outer muscles around here in your hips are having to work to push at the same time as the inner muscles, these adductors, are working to pull the legs together.
Yes.
Yes. If it's locked, you can rest whenever you want. Because I can really feel it. My inner thighs are very warm right now. And then when you're ready, let the hips open and relax. That's it. Well done. So we're going to go into helicopters now. I'll show you a long-legged version first. So up towards the sky, we're going to cross and cross like this. You can go bigger as long as you're not opening your legs too wide, because I want your hips to be safe and I don't want to hyperextend your tendons in the middle of your thighs. So keep it controlled, whichever version you're doing. So you can go small or bigger. The version with your legs low is opening and slowly drawing them together again. So you still get the same muscle activation, but this is a good one if you just need to get your legs a bit lower. And then when you're ready, lower the legs down, 1 and 2. And allow your tummy to just relax for a moment because it's worked really hard doing those moves. So take some breaths, allow the belly muscles to switch off. And then lengthen the legs and open the arms. So now your pubic bone is heading up towards the sky. And you're breathing. If anyone ever gets like hypertonic pelvic floor muscles, this is a really nice one to release them. Okay, so we're going to come up off our wheat bags, balls and cushions, and bring the ball between the thighs as we then roll over onto our sides. So you've got the ball between your thighs, bring the heels together, and you can keep that foot on the ground and bring your heels like this instead, or you could lift the foot up. And we're going to very gently separate the feet, squeeze the ball, and then bring the feet back together again. Separating, squeezing, and then back together. So nice and smooth and slow. That's it. That's it. And then let the lower leg relax and push down on that top thigh and release. So pushing down and releasing. And this can be done with your leg lengthened as well if you want.
These
That's
balls are amazing, aren't they?
I love them.
What they enable you to experience.
Yeah. There's so many things that we could do with balls, with bands, with everything. That's why I love Pilates so much, because it's so versatile, isn't it? That's it. And then we're going to move into this position and put the ball here. So you might want to bring your legs a little bit forward from your body, and then you're less likely to feel it in your backs. So as you breathe in, exhale, and lift up both legs. Really imagining that bottom leg is lifting up that top leg, and then lower down. And can you see I'm not coming up high at all? I'm not expecting a lift as you gently draw them up. So here's great. Wherever you come, even if you're not coming up off the floor at all, you are still activating those same muscles as you breathe in and exhale and lift and gently lower. One more like this and lower. And then put the top knee on the ball, lengthen the bottom leg. And we're going to flex that bottom leg and gently lift and lower the bottom leg. Now, I've got quite a big lift underneath. I'm not expecting that. Okay, I'm not expecting big lifts from you. That's it. It's just so I can demonstrate what we're doing. So this is the inner thigh really activating to lift that heavy leg up off the floor and down. That's it. Final one, we're going to lift and then move forward and backwards. That's it. It's nice and slow. It's really hard not to bend your knee, I know, but try and keep the leg long if you can. And then gently lower that leg down and roll the ball forward. So you can open the hip to the floor. And if you end up falling asleep, that's fine. So taking some breaths in this position where your inner thigh is getting a little bit of a massage with the ball and your hips are opening as well. Okay, and then we get to do that all over again on the other side. So take your time, rolling over. The first one is ball between thighs. And then we're going to very gently, you could bring the toes up if you fancy or keep them down, and rotate, pressing into the ball and returning. Still squeezing the ball. That's it. And then we're going to lower that bottom leg and press down the ball and then release. Pressing down and releasing. Well done, give me one more like this. And then we're going to extract the ball, resting it, lengthening the legs into torpedo. So breathing in, exhale and lift. Breathing in to lower. Exhale to lift. Breathe in. That's it. And one more like this. It's hard work, this one, isn't it? And release, putting your knee on the ball. Lengthening the bottom leg and gently lifting and lowering. So small lifts. Remember, length is more important than height in this case. And we're going to gently lift, maybe halfway, and float forward and back, trying to keep the legs straight. And then we're going to let that leg collapse and open the hips towards the floor and breathe. Nice deep breaths. And if it feels okay for you to do so, we're going to move into prayer stretch. I'd like you to keep your toes together and open your knees wide as you do it. The alternative is to lie on your backs and hug your knees in towards your chest, nice and wide. You might want to use your ball for this as well. You could rest on the ball. So you've got some nice open hips, whether you're on your back or you're in full point kneeling. And here you might want to have a little jiggle. Like you want to find your rhythm for your jiggle. And then we're going to push up into a seated position, but this is optional. If you would rather just lie down, that's absolutely fine too. And we're going to move into a mermaid first of all. So a traditional mermaid is this. So if you're on your backs, you could lift your knees up, so bend your knees and have your legs quite wide. That's it. And if you're on your backs, you'll be gently swaying your knees from one side to the next. If you're in this position, we're going to sit tall. That's it. And then, just to see if it works for you, move the knees to the other direction. That's it. Some people find that really easy, won't they, Martha? And Rachel. And some people will be like, yeah, and that just does not work. And if you're doing this version, you could reach, and then you could reach. If you're doing that gorgeous lying down version, you could reach your arms in the opposite direction to your knees. So you could be doing this and then this. Oh, I can't do it. And then when you're ready, find yourself into a more comfortable position. If you're lying down, your arms are going to be open. You're going to reach towards one hand and draw the hand across your chest and swap sides. If you're seated, you could do the side stretch like this instead, breathing and exhale, breathing and exhale. And then when you're ready, we're going to fold ourselves over our legs. That's it. And take a breath. And then find a comfortable position to do a moment of relaxation. So if you want to lie back down, feel free, or if you want to sit up, that's fine too. So it's quite a chilled class, although we did work some of our muscles quite deeply today. So they are in particular the adductors, these ones just in here. So sitting or lying, and to help you reconnect with the present moment, connecting your body and mind together. And allow yourself to feel connected with feelings of calm and stability. So feeling your body, the parts of the body in contact with your bed or the floor. Doing a bit of a body scan to feel which parts are in contact. Just between you and the earth. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, place both feet flat on the floor so your knees are bent. And then wiggle your toes. And then curl and uncurl the toes. And spend a moment while you're doing this noticing the sensations in your feet. And imagine, while you relax your feet now, how your feet are connecting you with the earth. And imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet, extending down into the earth and anchoring you. And notice how solid and supportive the ground is beneath you. And visualize the earth's energy flowing up through your roots and into your body, providing you with stability and strength. While you're doing this, taking slow, deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine drawing in the earth's energy. And as you exhale, release any tension or stress into the ground. Let the ground and the earth recycle this for you. Drawing in energy and releasing anything that doesn't serve you. In and out. And then allow your mind to hold on to that feeling of being rooted with the ground, but more in an imaginary way now. So you haven't cut off those ties with the ground or the earth. You're holding on to them, but you'll be able to move and walk. As you then open your eyes and take a look around, and maybe turn your head side to side and take in the light and the colour around you. And then coming back and wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe having a little shuffle or a jiggle. As we reach the arms above our heads, pressing the hands together. And then press them down past your chest in honour of how amazing your bodies are and how adaptive they are in terms of jiggling and momentum and then moving with precision and control. Well done, everybody. Good job.